I never thought the sound of sirens would echo down my street for something as ridiculous as a garage party, especially not one thrown by a bunch of off-duty cops. But that's exactly what happened, and if you'd told me I'd spend New Year's weekend in the middle of a full-blown neighborhood soap opera, well, I'd have laughed you off my driveway. Instead, I lived through a week that was part reality TV, part farce, and 100% reminder that sometimes the scariest thing in any community isn't what you see, but what you imagine. My name's Alex Morrison, security consultant, single-car garage turned open office happy homeowner in what I used to think was the chillest HOA in the county. Used to, anyway. See, I've always run my consulting gigs out of my garage, converted the whole thing myself. 3 big monitors, a meeting table that makes even anxious execs feel safe, some half-decent lighting, and yeah, a mini fridge because nobody makes good decisions when they're hungry. I left the garage door open most days. It looked professional, kept things transparent. Clients liked knowing they weren't about to get recorded for some TikTok gotcha. And hey, if the neighbors saw something cool, maybe they'd realize not every home business is a pyramid scheme. Except not everyone shares my philosophy about openness. Especially Karen Mitchell, our self-appointed watchwoman HOA president, and the unofficial mayor of Maple Street. She walks the block every morning and every evening, eyes sharp as a hawk, notepad always ready. Used to be she'd give me a polite nod, maybe compliment my setup. Nice monitors, Alex. Makes the neighborhood look professional. And I'd smile back, feeling almost proud to be part of her tour. But somewhere along the line, her curiosity grew claws. My meetings ran on a tight schedule, 2-hour windows, same folks in and out each week. Guys like Marcus, ex-military, now private security, Jennifer from the K-9 unit, Dave, the traffic cop, all folks who'd rather talk shop than small talk. We'd trade paperwork, sign some forms, sometimes run through a threat assessment or demo some new encrypted radios. From inside, it was business as usual. From across the street, apparently, it looked like we were trading nuclear codes. Karen started appearing at just the right wrong times. Out on the sidewalk, phone up, jotting in that little notebook, eyes flicking from my garage to the comings and goings of anyone who so much as parked out front. She never interrupted, just watched, building a case in her mind. And I guess in her head the pieces started to add up, regular mail, visitors, folders exchanged with military precision equipment lining the walls. She saw shadows in the light drama in the routine. The whole thing must have looked like an undercover operation. By Thursday that week, Karen had enough evidence to convince herself that the neighborhood's integrity was hanging by a thread, and that thread was me. Every signature, every handshake, every electronic beep got written down in her log. I heard later that she'd started calling friends, a retired prosecutor, some former HOA presidents, asking them what to do when you suspect organized criminal activity but you can't quite prove it. Their advice: document everything, don't confront directly, and if you see something, say something. Me, I had no clue. I was just trying to explain to Marcus for the 10th time why 2-factor authentication isn't optional and prepping for a low-key Friday hangout. I'd sent out an email to my regulars: garage hangout Friday 7 p.m., bring the family. Pizza's on me. It was meant to be nothing more than a way to decompress. Work had been wild, the world outside was even crazier, and I figured a little community never hurt anybody. But Karen saw that invite as the final piece. In her mind, the garage party was a cover, a mafia summit disguised as family fun. She got Mrs. Chen next door in on the act, peering through her kitchen window, comparing notes about how the same guys kept showing up, how there was always some kind of equipment demonstration happening. Even Mr. Rodriguez, usually the calmest guy on the block, was drawn into her orbit, though he just listened, eyes half amused, not committing to any theory. By the time Friday rolled around, I'd arranged the tables, set out drinks, rerouted the speakers for some background music. My clients, now friends, arrived with their families, wives, kids in tow, casserole dishes, and bags of chips in hand. The garage was alive, laughter bouncing off the walls, kids playing with walkie-talkies, adults swapping work stories and passing around binders that were honestly just compliance checklists and training manuals. To Karen, it looked like a cartel meeting. To us, it was just Friday night. And then she made the call. I don't know what she told 911 exactly, but whatever it was, it did the trick. Within minutes, sirens echoed in the distance, blue and red lights flashing down Maple Street like some kind of late-night parade. The cops rolled up 3 cruisers, full emergency lighting, blocking the street. My heart dropped. The kids froze mid-play. The adults exchanged confused glances. Jennifer muttered. Well, this is ironic, while Marcus cracked a nervous joke about being raided at our own party. Karen stepped out to greet the officer's documentation folder in hand, looking every bit the concerned citizen. Officer, I've been observing for weeks meetings, equipment, regular traffic, all hours. I'm worried about what's going on in that garage. She handed over her photos timeline, the whole dossier. The lead officer, Williams, I think, flipped through the pictures, scanning each one with professional skepticism. He glanced at my open garage, then back at Karen. Ma'am, we'll take a look, he said. His tone was polite, but you could see the gears turning. He'd probably seen 100 calls like this, most ending with an awkward apology and a warning about false reports. Williams and his team approached the garage. Marcus recognized him first. Williams, how's the wife? He called out, half joking, half pleading for this to be over before it started. Williams stopped cold. Detective Martinez. What are you doing here? Marcus grinned, soda in hand. Pizza night. Want a slice? The officers' faces shifted from alert to incredulous in an instant as they scanned the room. Familiar faces, kids with juice boxes, Jennifer showing a little girl how the K9 collar worked. Williams turned to Karen, a mix of amusement and pity in his eyes. Ma'am, these folks are law enforcement. This is a party. Karen blinked, looking past the officers, suddenly seeing what everyone else saw. Kids giggling over radios, adults comparing dog stories, a couple of pizzas growing cold on the folding table. Whatever story she'd told herself for weeks just collapsed right there under the fluorescent lights. Still, procedure. Williams did a quick walkthrough, checked my paperwork, looked over the demo gear. He confirmed what anyone with half a brain and a sense of humor could see: nothing illegal, just an overzealous HOA president with a vivid imagination. He came back out, citation pad in hand. Ma'am, we appreciate your vigilance, but there's nothing criminal here. I do have to issue you a citation for a false emergency report. Please, in the future, just knock on the door and ask before calling in the cavalry. The neighbors gathered outside, whispers turning to laughter as the truth came out. Mrs. Chen looked almost embarrassed. Mr. Rodriguez shook his head with a wry smile, and even the kids started chanting Karen's in trouble before their parents hushed them. Karen's face went through a dozen shades of regret, shock, defensiveness, shame, before she finally muttered something about just trying to keep everyone safe and retreated down the block, citation in hand, the ultimate walk of shame. After the cruisers left, we tried to salvage what was left of the party. Someone made a joke about calling the fire department for the next gathering, and Marcus declared, well, at least we know the HOA is thorough. The tension faded, replaced by a weird sense of camaraderie. Neighbors lingering, swapping stories about other misunderstandings, parents asking if their kids could come by sometime for a real demo. The next day, Karen resigned from the HOA board. Rumor has it she took up gardening, much safer, fewer false alarms. The board sent out a memo reminding residents to verify concerns before involving authorities. As for me, business never boomed so hard. Turns out nothing says trustworthy security consultant like surviving a police raid at your own garage party with nothing to hide. But if you're looking for the moral here, it is tucked in the middle of pizza boxes and bad assumptions. Surveillance doesn't equal understanding. Watching isn't the same as knowing. And sometimes the only thing separating a concerned neighbor from a complete disaster is a 5-minute conversation and the guts to ask, not accuse. So was Karen the villain, or just a little too invested in her self-appointed job? Did I bring this on myself by being too open? Or does transparency only work if people actually look? Maybe that's a question for you. Where's the line between community vigilance and paranoia? When does seeing something, saying something cross over into seeing ghosts behind every door? Drop your thoughts below. Ever had a neighbor go full surveillance state on you? Where's the boundary between keeping the block safe and, well, turning it into a reality show? And hey, next time you're in the neighborhood, swing by. Garage is always open. Just knock first, okay?
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.